Domain functional levels (DFLs) in Microsoft Active Directory define the set of features and capabilities available within a domain based on the version of Windows Server that is running on the domain controllers. The functional level affects things like security features, group policies, replication, and the overall functionality of the Active Directory environment. When you raise the domain functional level, you're essentially enabling newer Active Directory features that require a high version of Windows Server. But this action also restricts you from using older versions of Windows Server as domain controllers in that domain. Here's an overview of the common domain functional levels and the corresponding Windows Server versions. Windows 2000. Native supports Active Directory features, but lacks some advanced features. Windows Server 2003 introduces better security and performance features, such as group memberships and DNS integration. Windows Server 2003 R2 introduces DFS, Distributed File System, and fine-grained password policies. Windows Server 2008 introduces DFS replication and read-only domain controllers, RODC. Windows Server 2008 R2 introduces managed service accounts and improvements to group policy. Windows Server 2012 includes Dynamic Access Control and KDC, Key Distribution Center enhancements. Windows Server 2012 R2 has enhanced Group Managed Service Accounts, GMSA, and KDC enhancements. Windows Server 2016 introduces Kerberos armoring, privileged access management, and domain controller cloning. Windows Server 2019 includes Azure AD Join and improvements to security and AD replication. Windows Server 2022 has enhancements to Windows Defender and security features, and AD certificate services. When a domain functional level is raised, it enables additional features, but also has certain limitations. Older versions of Windows Server domain controllers cannot be added to a domain that has a higher functional level. For example, if you raise the domain functional level to Windows Server 2008, you can no longer have domain controllers running Windows 2000 Server or Windows Server 2003. Once you raise the domain functional level, you cannot revert it back to a lower level, for example, from Windows Server 2008 to Windows 2000 Native. Newer functional levels unlock new features, such as Group Managed Service Accounts, GMSA, from Windows Server 2012, fine-grained password policies from Windows Server 2003, read-only domain controllers, RODC, from Windows Server 2008, Kerberos armoring from Windows Server 2016, and domain controller cloning from Windows Server 2016. To raise the domain functional level, open Active Directory Domains and Trusts. Right-click the domain and select Raise Domain Functional Level. Choose the desired functional level from the available options and click Raise. Once the domain functional level is raised, you can take advantage of the new features, but need to ensure all domain controllers in that domain are running at least the version of Windows Server required for the new functional level. A domain functional level applies to a specific domain, while a forest functional level applies to the entire forest. Both need to be compatible and should be raised carefully. Before raising the domain functional level, check that all domain controllers are running the required version of Windows Server to avoid compatibility issues. Raising the domain function level is a crucial step in leveraging the latest AD features and ensuring a more secure, feature-rich environment. However, it requires careful planning, especially in large or multi-domain environments.